Chris here with Barn Nerd Outdoors. It's here. It's here. I've been wanting to look at this. Let's take a look at this thing. This is the new Yeti GoBox 1. I've been looking forward to taking a look at this and comparing it to something I've been using for years. Right? This is the Pelican Ruck case. R40 to be specific, because it is, I think it's about the same size as the Yeti one. Let's get this unboxed, take a look at it. It's, you know, I don't have a knife down here. What kind of world do I live in where I don't have a knife? Let's see what I got. I got something in here that'll work. I do. This is, I got a wine opener here. So I'm a huge fan of the Yeti GoBox series of gear storage cases, and I use them for, you know, just about everything when it comes to camping and outdoor stuff. That's why I was really excited about this. Let's open up the box, and of course, I got the King Crab Orange. Comes in a nice little bag. And here it is. Look at this. It's got, you know, the usual Yeti stuff on it. I'm sure there's a sticker inside this thing. So why would you want something like the GoBox 1? Well, as I mentioned, I use a Ruck case from Pelican, and I use this in my kayak. I think it's a great place to store, you know, my phone and a battery pack, things that I don't want to get wet. And that's why I was excited to see this new case from Yeti. It is covered with stickers, and these stickers usually come off pretty easily from Yeti products. It is a waterproof, dustproof, wildproof gear case, and it gives you that extra sense of durability to protect your gear, especially your electronics gear. So looking at the outside of this, you can see it's pretty much just a, you know, your standard hard case, right? It is a hard plastic, and it has a seal around it to keep things waterproof and dustproof. One of the things I thought was interesting is it comes with this gear strap, and you can see there on the top how that kind of just can pop right out of there. So with this rubber strap, you can actually connect this to, you know, your pack if you want. A bunch of different Yeti products like the Camino, the Pango, the Kayo, or the Hopper products. So the way this connects is it has this little loop that just goes through there, and what I really like about this is you can fold it around and connect it to this other side and make a hand strap. And this is something that I like over the Pelican Ruck series, and we'll talk about that. On the bottom of the case, there are these nice rubber pads, and this is great so it doesn't slide around when you set it down. As I mentioned, I use this in my kayak, and it has the same type of thing where it's got some rubber on the sides and the bottom so it doesn't slide around on that surface. It works great when I'm out on the water. So I really appreciate that that is on there as well. And then it's got this secure lock here, right? And unlike some of the competitors or even their own GoBox series, this actually has a little lever on the bottom, and you have to push that in to release the lock on the side of this. And then the case just opens up like that. It does open up completely, so you can easily set it flat on a surface, which is really nice as well. There, of course, is the standard Yeti sticker, and then a registration card inside. If you look at the inside of this, there are two things that will stand out. First, there is this little rubberized mesh gear loft on the top, and then there is a little piece of plastic here. It's like a little tray that you can pop out, and inside this is all rubber lined, so it gives you, you know, a little shock absorption for things inside. One thing I will point out is if you look right up here, there is a small little valve there, and that is a pressure release valve, right? You change elevation, the pressure will change between the inside and the outside, and it can make it kind of tough to open these things up. That will allow the pressure to equalize between the inside and the outside of this box. And if you look underneath here, it's going to be very hard to see, but that's where that valve is on this side. So this upper mesh gear loft is nice. It is removable. You can simply just pull it off of its posts. So you can remove it if you want it to be removed. And of course you don't need to use the tray as well. So I will put the dimensions up on the screen. It is 9.9 inches wide, 5.5 inches deep, and 2.9 inches high, and it weighs 1.7 pounds. This is not something that you will see me throwing in a backpack. I know one of the Yeti ads actually shows this attached to a backpack, and that's too much weight for what it gives me. It's really just too much weight. So I carry a standard iPhone 16 Pro, not the Max, just the Pro. It does fit inside the bottom just fine. And if I was using the tray as well, I can set it directly on the tray and still close it up with no issues at all. And where it doesn't fit very well is up in this little gear loft. And stick around, because I'll pull out my R40 from Pelican and I'll show you one of the major differences between the two. If I want to put this up in the gear loft, I have to unhook the top pieces there and then pull that back, kind of cram my phone in. Matter of fact, with the case on, it is a very tight fit. And then re-secure these sides, and honestly, it just doesn't work that easily. I'm a little disappointed in that. I wish there was a little more room up top for me to be able to do that. But it does have a good seal all the way around it. It's a very nice functional box. And it's an interesting thing that they've added to their GoBox line. When I first got the email from Yeti saying they were coming out with this, I just glanced at the subject and I'm like, oh, there's a new GoBox. I can't wait. What is it going to be like? A GoBox 90, something huge that you need to have a pickup to carry around. Instead it was this. And when I first got it, I immediately thought of this, right? The Pelican series. So let's take a look at the differences between these two. I have several different sizes of the Pelican. This is the 20, which is a little bit smaller. I'll use this one as well. On the kayak, I have a kind of a rope or a lanyard attached to it so I can clip it and secure it when I'm out and about with it. So let's go down to the table, take a look at this, and I'll show you what the major differences are. The pros and the cons of the Pelican versus the pros and the cons of the Yeti. All right, so let's take a look at this compared to the Pelican. Right, this is the Pelican R40 Ruck case, and I also have here the R20. And what I'm finding is that the Yeti kind of lives in between these two. There are pros and cons of both of these, but let's take a quick look at them so you can see what the difference is. So the Pelican has these rubber sides on them, which help with keeping it secure. I'm on a glass bar table here, and what I've noticed is that just a little pressure, the Pelican does move more than the Yeti. The Yeti, you really got to put some effort into it. That is because of these rubber pieces here on the bottom. I think these are much better than the rubber on the Pelican case. We talked about the latch on this being a push button to open that latch, where on the Pelican it is a lift and it folds down. Okay, so there is no button or anything. The Pelican also has the same type of pressure system to equalize the pressure between indoors and out. One of the things that really drove me nuts about the Pelican is when you open it up, that's as far as it opens, right? Just 90 degrees. That's it. It doesn't go any further, which is fine here that it's empty, but as soon as you start putting some weight up here, this thing will tend to want to flip over onto its back, where the Yeti GoBox folds completely flat, and I really, really like that a lot. The hinge mechanism on this is definitely superior to the Pelican just for that aspect alone. If you look at the insides of these, you'll see they both have a tray where the Yeti is more of a solid tray, there is some places where if you were routing a cable or something, you could do that through the side there. The Pelican one has these slats in it. Comes with these little Velcro straps so you can secure cords and things, and a place where you can stick your finger to pull it out, or you can route cables through that as well. They both fit really nice. They don't slide around or anything. You get inside. They both have a rubber material on the inside. The Pelicans, although it has these little like patterns on them, little pluses and raised sections, it's not as soft as the rubber in the Yeti. I think the Yeti is probably handle a little more shock absorption than the one in the Pelican. One of the biggest differences here is this gear loft. Now, look at the size of this. This thing is huge, and you'll see that it's very stretchy. Whatever material they use, if this is silicone or something, it's very stretchy, and it's also raised up off the back a little bit more. You can see these pegs that stick out. I don't know if you'll be able to see that in this video, but you can see they are raised up pretty high, and there's also that rubber backing on the Gear Addict as well, where the Yeti, you don't have that, right? You don't have any of the rubber on the inside of this, and this is really pretty tight. Now I'm hoping that this kind of works in and gives me a little more flexibility the more I use it, but it is secured much closer to the back. And as we tried with my phone here, right? It looks like the phone would just barely fit in there. But if you look over here at the Pelican, I mean, I can just toss my phone in there. Now, it's a little bit larger, so let's take a look at the R20 here, right? The Pelican R20, which is actually it's just a little bit smaller than the Yeti. But if you look at this gear loft, same thing here. The gear loft is much higher up, and I can easily disconnect that. I can easily just toss my phone in there, right? And that is really neat. I wish the Yeti did a little bit better with their little gear loft there. Like I said, maybe this will work in a little bit better. But as I mentioned, I mean, the phone, this is the smallest one. The phone fits in there just fine on the Pelican. And getting it into the Yeti, I mean, it just barely fits between stand-ups to where I can't even get that back on there. So not a good place to store my phone in the Yeti. I think Yeti could do better when it comes to the Gear Addict in here, but this will work for things like my car keys and other things like that. One last thing that I want to mention when dealing with these Pelican boxes, because I deal with this all the time. I put a strap on this, just a piece of paracord, right, to help secure this when I'm in my kayak, and it works good. The problem is because this is just, cordage, sometimes it'll get wrapped off to the side there, and when it's off to the side like that, you can't close that. The way the top lid and the bottom mate together when it closes, you will have trouble with that. I could solve this by putting in maybe a webbing strap or something, but that has been a nightmare for me, and I got really excited when I saw the GoBox 1, because you can easily convert this to the strap mode, and it's not in the way. It's not in the way at all. When you open and close it, there's no way for that to interfere with the closure of the box. And I do really like this kind of push, right? You just push and lift and it opens up. That's a lot more convenient than the way the Pelican GoBoxes work, but they do work, right? I've been using this for years, and I've been really happy with it. It's been very durable. and very functional. But I'm really excited to get out and use this Yeti GoBox 1. So one last thing that they do mention on Yeti's website, they say it's compatible with other products from theirs, and this is the Yeti Camino 20 wetland brown with that cool Nebraska corncob morale patch on it. And I've been checking this out, and you would think that they're talking about using this strap, right, for connecting to these spots right here. The problem is that that connector is too big. It won't fit through there. And I have a Camino 30 as well. I've tried it. It does not work as well. These are standard straps, so I'm not sure what they're talking about for connecting this to their other products, short of maybe just, you know, strapping it to the handle. I don't know. I guess, I mean, that would probably work. I don't know. And it does not fit inside the little water bottle pockets on the Camino 20. It might fit on the 30 or the 50, whatever the other sizes are. But love this king crab. It's very visible. I've seen people out kayaking where they have something like this, but it is clear or it is black. It's not a bright color. And if they're out tubing and this thing falls in the water and floats away, they never find their phone. Orange, highly visible, very good color just for that. That's why my Pelican Rucks are orange, and that's why I got the king crab orange on this as well. But I also, normal fashion, I buy one when you can buy two. I also got one in Rescue Red, and I thought I would use this for a first aid kit or an emergency kit somewhere in the house or in the vehicle that we can just kind of throw around and take with us, where I know everything is protected in there. So tell me what you think. What do you think of these new Yeti GoBox 1s? Is this something that you're going to get? I believe the price is $65, and before you say that's a lot of money, these Pelican Ruck cases are right around the same price if you can find them. So yeah, the price is a little high. You are paying for that Yeti name, but it's really well built. I'm very, very impressed with it so far. I'm going to take this out camping with me this weekend, so I'm going to get some field use out of one of these boxes, put it through the paces. So tell me what you think. Is this something that you could see buying or using? Go ahead and put that in the comments below. Let me know if you have any questions. Remember to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks everybody for watching.